Welcome back to the Real Triathlon Podcast. I am joined once again with Lisa Becharas and Jackson Laundry. Lisa, I'm sorry, you're supposed to be doing the intros. I stole it from you because you haven't been here, or at least you missed last week. You've been racing. But guys, welcome back to what is kind of the fastest hour in triathlon. Am I right? Like this has to be it. It's our podcast. It's the Real Triathlon Podcast.
The realest hour in triathlon.
It's true. But we are buzzing today because the greatest hockey player of all time won a Stanley Cup again last night for the first time since 2011. Brad Marchand.
Brad Marchand. Yeah, I knew you were going to say Brad Marchand. He's one of the greatest playoffs players ever, for sure.
Oh, for sure, man. He was unbelievable. He got robbed of the Conn Smythe. Sam Bennett, good series, everything, or good playoffs. But Brad scored some really important goals, and that guy, man.
Lisa's trying to figure out what sport
my entire career, my entire hockey fandom life.
I was just gonna say, what team won?
The Florida Panthers.
The hockey team is called the Florida Panthers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on, Lisa. This is the biggest.
I only know the Maple Leafs and the Blackhawks and the Avalanche, the Colorado Avalanche, and I can't name any other hockey teams.
Come on.
Jeez.
But the Avalanche did win in,
you could name one
Colorado.
What's Detroit's team called?
What's Detroit? I only know the Lions football team.
Come on.
All right. Anyways, back to triathlon.
Back to triathlon. So it has been an eventful couple weeks. Lisa, you've been gone racing 3 weeks in a row. That's crazy. Are you completely decimated right now?
I think I feel better than I anticipated. Honestly, I think I'm more tired from the travel. Like I wanted to cry when I got home. I appreciate that.
Travel jingle.
I wanted to cry when I got home because I was just so happy to be home.
Yeah.
And
I think you get more wrecked the better of a race you have, probably. That's standard.
Oh, 100%. Like I was able to jog today. And normally if I can run in a race, race a race, it's another 3 days before I can try jogging. So the perk of that is I can actually continue and try to build upon run volume, or try to get any sort of run volume because I haven't run very much in the past 10 weeks.
Or
ever. I was very concerned because me and Mark and Morgan Pearson were hanging out watching the run, and Lisa ran by us on maybe, I think it was less than halfway or right around halfway into the run. And she's, not running that quick. She's struggling. And she kind of slows down to go by us. And she's like, how do I run without using my calves?
Yeah.
We're like, I don't know. Try using the glutes more.
Yeah. You just got to pull the ground back with your glutes.
Yeah.
It was seriously, I had zero energy in Vancouver from the get-go. After lap one of the swim, I stood up and I was like, oh, fuck. This is going to be a long freaking day. I've got nothing. So I tried to make the most of the experience that I could, but on the run, where I was literally jogging, Taylor Knibb had, I think she was 2.5 laps ahead of me on a 6-lap run, which is hilarious. But I think my calves, having only raced 6 days earlier, my calves were doing this they felt so freaking tight, where if I tried to explode a little bit too much off of a run step, I think I would have just they would have exploded. Pew, no more calves. And sometimes I'll get that feeling maybe the last mile-ish of a 70.3, but not 3 miles, 4 miles into an 11-mile run. I was like, this is a long day. And it was a long day.
And you could have just DNF'd.
And I could have just DNF'd. And I didn't know.
I thought you were doing it for an extra
$750.
Wow, $750.
Which is kind of a lot of money. But but I don't like DNFing. It's not something I want to make a habit of doing. So I was happy to make it to the finish line, tried to make the most of the experience. And I will say, huge shout out to the fans that were in Vancouver, because I literally heard my name being cheered so many times which is wild to me. I'm like, who knows my name? There's 800 Olympians in this race and people that are way more successful and
800
moving
Olympians
a
in
lot.
a 20-person race.
They're moving a lot faster than I am. But I heard my name so many times, and they were two guys who probably made my day, and they were on the run course. And on this run course, it's a six times you're going out and back, like 1,500 meters out, 1,500 meters back. So you pass the same people 12 times. And these two guys, I think they were part of like the Cupcake Cartel. And
That's a throwback. Holy cow.
But they said, love the pod, which is great. So shout out if you're listening. You made my day. And I said, like, because I can't push enough so I can like chat the whole time that I'm jogging. And I was like, I want a joke next time I run past. And they did. They had a joke. I can't remember what it was, but they did tell me a joke the next time I ran past. So
I was thinking, when you said that, I was thinking of Cupcakes with Cal. Do you remember that podcast? It was like one of the original podcasts.
I'd never listened to it, but I have heard about it.
Yeah.
But the Cupcake Cartel's like an age group amateur team, pretty sure, I think. That's just they have really bright clothes, so that's why it stood out to me. But yeah, and I will say, when you're the last person on the run course and there were like the far aid station, I got the most cheers, probably because they were like really excited to be done handing out drinks and nutrition. But they cheered for me by my name so loud, and I got a really nice message.
Think about how much less time they were out there compared to like an age group race. Although you guys started
2.5 hours after you guys.
Wait, 2
maybe
hours.
It was maybe they did a shift change though.
Think
like
about
between the men and the women.
Yeah, sometimes they like rotate them off. Like in an Ironman, if you're
they do like 4 hour, 3-hour shifts.
Yeah, if you're on a bike or the run course, like they rotate them and stuff.
Yeah, but I will say I was apologizing to people. I was like on like loop 2 of the run. I was like, I'm sorry, you're gonna be out here for a really long time. And one of the technical officials actually reached out to me on Instagram. A really nice message and did something along the lines of like,
oh, actually, you're disqualified. Sorry, we saw.
We added
1 minute to your run.
So it's just saying like, it was like I was the technical official that you apologized to, saying like you were going to be out here for a little bit longer than you anticipated. He was like, we're out here for you guys, so sorry that you had a rough or like a longer day, but we're out here for you guys, so just remember that. Something really nice. And I was like, oh, that's very nice. But I did have a lot of fun. I had a lot of little conversations too when I was the last one on the bike. The moto came up to me, the moto driver, and he drives motos for Ironman races too. I saw him in the airport when we landed in Vancouver. But he was like, what do you want me to do? Do you want to just try to draft off of us, like back into transition? I was like, yes, please. And I don't think the technical official who was on the back of the moto thought it was as funny, because obviously he's not going to let me draft the moto back to T2.
Drafting at 4:30 per kilometer.
But I was like, here we are. I'm sorry. I can't pedal any harder. So
on the bike,
yeah. No, I couldn't push more. Like my average power was like 197.
Still pretty. I mean, it's a lot for some people.
It could be a lot for some people, but I'm normally like pushing like 230 to like push a lot less.
I mean, that's not like as far off as I would have guessed based off you saying you felt that horrible. Like I've had days where I pushed like 50 watts off my targets or more.
Oh,
yeah, but it's more of a percentage, right? Because as you get closer to zero,
but still,
yeah.
But I mean, it was an off day for sure.
I mean, if you threw another like 20 pros in the field, like it wouldn't have looked as bad.
I think you feel bad. Like I don't think like when most of us are watching that, we're not thinking like, oh, look at Lisa, she finished 18th or something. It's 19th. Like, oh, 19th. I didn't know if there's one or more DNFs, but it's like, oh, yeah, at least she's way back. It's like we're watching like 20 of the best athletes. And it's just like, wow, look at Lisa's racing on TV.
Look at Taylor ran past Lisa again. saw her on camera. She looked like she was walking. Well,
and it's like
I think that's the thing about these races that I think can make a lot of people very uncomfortable because it's so few racers. It can feel very vulnerable out there when you're like literally the last person jogging around the course. Everyone is very aware that you are the last person on the course and that you're in last, versus in age group races or Ironman races, you have a whole bunch of age groupers that can kind of just like swallow you up and they don't know. So I think that's why you end up getting a lot more DNFs, is people just
Nobody
have a
wants
hard
to just
time.
have a bad day. Like you saw it on the, like 3 men DNF'd. I mean, yeah, some of them maybe were sick or injured or whatever, but you know, they could have finished. But then again, if you're going to injure yourself, I don't know what happened to Peter Hemerick. He just pulled out after one lap on the swim. He was probably just sick or something.
Yeah, he was probably sick. That's what I would suspect. But sometimes, you know, I've had days where I've gotten off the bike and just like at the back, awful run, and you just got to make the most of it. Like, I guess the best example I can give was Eagleman. I like very much didn't run hard, but I was like high-fiving everyone and like at the turn and just like enjoying it and cheering people on, like just like get some energy going and like have fun. Like, yeah, it sucks and you're not going to have the best day, but like have fun with it, enjoy it, you know, get the crowd going.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I really do think it's up to you to turn any situation or any experience into a positive one. And like, I do think as elite athletes, like you can't expect to be at your absolute best or race, like hit it out of the park every time you're at a race.
Especially
I don't
not
know.
3 weeks in a row. Like, what are the chances you're going to have 3 amazing races?
That middle one went well. Like,
no, I know, because
that was the one where it mattered. Like, realistically, if you're going to have a good day at a T100, you'd still maybe be like 15th or 13th or something. Right. Whereas a good day at Eagleman, you're like top 5.
Right. And Eagleman, like at the end of the day, that's where my home is going to be, like the 70.3s.
Cambridge, Maryland.
But in Cambridge, Maryland, we're moving.
Fishing Creek, Maryland.
Fishing Creek, that's right.
Just a 40-minute drive to the grocery. But so that was my T100.
Like, did you swim totally alone?
I had a great start. Like I was like. I was like, I dove in, and then once you got past like 200 meters, I was like, oh, here we go. I actually think I was still like in a group when we got to the first turn buoy, but then it was just I was by myself. Kaidi was a little bit ahead of me when I got out of the water, and we basically finished within like 5 or 10 seconds of each other, but we were swimming completely away from each other. But yeah, everyone else was together.
Kind of with her too, didn't you?
Yeah, but I was like, I gotta make up time when I got on the bike, and so I was really, really pushing the first like with whatever I had, the first like 2 laps. Then I was like, the wheels just they flew off. They didn't just fall off. They just like imploded. And Kaidi she actually passed me and she said she started feeling better. But the last lap, she had a huge mechanical. Like, we got off the bike. Hold on. The lawnmower people are here.
Oh, I was wondering what's, I was like, is that me?
I had the
Where's
window
that
open.
sound coming from?
But, the last lap, she just came flying back to me because she had a mechanical where her, like, wheel would not turn. Like, at rest, she was, like, pulled it, and, like, it wouldn't spin at all. So she was pedaling very, very slowly back to transition because of that. So, I know.
That's brutal.
I felt bad. Yeah. So she had a long day, too.
Yeah. You were at for a few seconds on the run, and then...
Yeah, and then I was, I knew what I had on the day, and it's not something that, like, there was nothing I was going to be able to do. Like,
yeah, that happens.
I did what I did, and it's also something where I'm not going to dig myself into the well to try to finish, a minute or 2 minutes, like, closer to the last place person in front of me, Yeah. So.
And Dami also had a bit of a hard day. Felt a little off on the bike. I never really talked to her to figure out exactly what happened, but she pulled out on the bike.
Yeah.
And so we had,
the
We
ladies
had
of
4 people
RTS.
at T100. Like, that's really the story here.
That is the story. We can leave it at that.
Like, has that, it doesn't, I mean, I'm sure maybe BMC or some other team has had that before, but it's not that, it's not a lot of teams coming up with 2 in the men and women.
No, but
these
you
200.
and Mark both had really solid days.
Yeah, we had
Finishing
pretty good
both in
days. We both were decently happy. I was just not quite there on the swim. I had my opportunity to be with that group, and I just wasn't strong enough. So really into a focus now of just like improving my damn technique. Like, I don't care how slow I swim for the next couple weeks. I'm just focusing only on technique. And I've only done 2 swims, but I feel like there's been some progress. The local university swim team coach, John Carey, is also like a triathlon swim coach, and I just like hired him to just come on deck with me and actually coach one-on-one to get me some like real-time feedback and some drills and stuff I should work on. So I'm working on that stuff and just committing to it for a bit and just see where that goes, because I should be in that freaking group. Like, these guys aren't fitter than me, they're not stronger than me, they're not, like, they're just better technique, and I just have gotten pretty complacent with that the last few years. So so that's what I'm focused on. But anyways, got out of the water like 3 minutes and a little change behind the very front. Like, I was probably exactly 3 minutes behind Mark, and I was basically on my own the whole swim. Fred Funk went by me right at the end of it, and I got on his feet. So I'm like, sweet, Fred Funk, let's go. Like, Fred Funk's a freaking good biker. Let's do this. And then he's just like feeling like crap the start of the bike, I guess, and I just totally dropped him. And I was completely solo 100% of the bike. I passed Nico Man. He swam like 20 seconds ahead of me. Passed him on the first hill. Then I was just like chasing the whole ride, and I was catching people. Like, I caught Burt Whistle on like lap 2 or 3, and then I caught Mark and Jason West on the last lap. And I went by what's his name, Yuri Kulin, but he was like in the process of dropping out, so it doesn't really count. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't catch Mark and Jason till the very last lap, and like I was like, I need a minute on Mark. Like, I need to freaking bury him on this lap. And I tried. Like, I pushed as hard as I could the last lap, but I was feeling good the whole bike, and I pushed really good power. But the last lap was the only lap where my power dropped a bit. Like, I was like 330-ish, high 320s to 330 all the laps, except the last lap I was like 310. So that would have been probably the difference between I started the run 22 seconds ahead of Mark, and maybe I would have started like 45 seconds ahead of him. It would have been really close, but anyways, he had a good bike. Like, he biked way better than San Fran. So I was like, okay, he's having a solid day. Good on him. And then, on the run, Jason flew by me right away. I barely had a lead on him to start the run. And then Mark passed me. I think I got off the bike in 11th or 12th. And then, Jason flew by me. Hidalgo pulled out, so I kind of got one back there. And then Mark went by me right at the finish of the first lap. And then, I ran alone for a long time. And Nico Man was running with... So Sam Long never made up time on me. Like, he ended up pulling a group of like him, Fred Funk, Nico Man, and for a bit I think Burt Whistle was in there. But I like put 50 seconds into Sam Long on the bike, which I knew I was having a good day on the bike. And then I guess I was like 244 slower than the absolute front guys, like the front guy, like Rico Bogan. That's pretty solid.
They got moto help.
They for sure did. Like, I'm just in the process of watching the race now. Like, I watched the first hour and some change, and the motos are just part of the front group. Like, they're just in the front group. They're beside the leader. They're kind of behind and like slightly to the side of the leader, and then the guy behind is just getting a huge draft. Like, even if they're not trying to or they're not cheating, they're getting, like, motos push like 5 times as much air as an aero cyclist, so they're just producing such a draft. And like, everyone, it's not like it was helping them by like a minute per lap, but you're getting a few seconds benefit here and there the whole time, and maybe it adds up to like a minute for the whole ride. I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out there. But and then also they're in a group.
Just speculating.
They're in a group. Like the group dynamic still helps even at 20 plus meters, like
Yeah.
totally legally. But I literally rode the entire thing 100% solo. And then, so I'm just saying this to give myself a little bit of positive energy that my cycling's very close to that level. Like I do think once I get my swim there and focus on that technique, which I'm doing, and it's going to happen. Like I'm not going to waste my time swimming with the technique I have for the last few months because it's not good enough. So why would I waste my time being like, oh, I'll jump back into hard workouts and try to get faster right now when I know I'm just going to come up short again. So I'm just doing the reprogramming that I need.
Yeah. I will say, watching the men's race, it was actually terrifying how quickly that front group came through that roundabout, like by transition. And like I watched them come through, and I was like, oh my god, one of them's gonna slide out and take like the crowd out with them. Like when I was standing there, I was like, I gotta back up. I was like,
they
this
go crazy.
Is insane.
Their handling's unreal. Like I watched, and it's a risk. Like part of it is like every time I take a turn, I'm like, oh, I could have gone faster on that turn. But you especially there, you're near a beach, like you hear that sand like sliding under the tire a bit, and you're like, this could just go out at any moment. Like that's why I always turn at like a speed I know I'm not going to crash, and then, but I guess these guys just have a better feel of where that limit is.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I looked on Strava and like I'm losing like Helligeen's uploaded his. So that's a pretty good indicator because he's like right there pretty much at the, I mean, on the Strava, his pace would be the same as the front group because he was with that group for the first lap, which was the fastest lap. Yeah. And the long section from transition all the way to the far turnaround on the first lap, I only lost 11 or 12 or 13 seconds or something. And that's like an 11-minute section. Yeah. So I'm not losing much on there. And then I lose like 13 or 15 seconds on like the technical section alone, which is like a third as long or half as long or less. So obviously that's where I'm losing. And part of it's being solo. You can't follow the guy in front's line. But even watching, those guys just freaking hammer those turns. Like it's amazing. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I honestly was happy with how I rode in the technical sections for myself. Like I stayed really focused. I feel like I hit the turns for me pretty well. But those guys are just another level. So that's where I'm losing the time.
Yeah. But to be honest, it's really, in most courses that we race in 70.3s, it's not as much of a factor. But in the T100, where they do, like, at least for San Francisco and for this race, it was a lot more technical turns, more ITU type style stuff. It makes a bigger difference.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, they're all the courses have a lot of laps and a lot of turns, and that's just part of it. So given all that, I'm really happy with how I rode. 2:44 off the fastest split, and then looking back to last year when I did T100 San Fran, I was almost 6 minutes off the fastest split for the bike. So I cut that deficit in less than half. So I'm really happy with that. And then the run, I still coming back from the foot injury. I just didn't have enough time to really train my run, but I got a lot better. And I ran basically the same that I did in San Fran last year. Similar conditions, similar course. And the big battle was that I'm happy about is Nico Mann, who ran with Sam Long for the first like 4 laps, then tripped apparently, and like fell and like got like a 10-second gap. And then he was just like, I think he was kind of just like struggling to keep up with Sam too, because he like ran quite a bit slower after that. And Sam went by me, ended up catching Mark, and they were in a battle, and Sam got the better of him in the last straight. But Nico caught me with 1 lap to go, and he'd made up 2 minutes. And then he like put in a surge. I jumped on his shoulder to like hang with him, and then he just like eased off, and then I just like kept the pace on and dropped him, and then I put like 20 seconds in. So my last lap was probably for sure my best, I think. So I was stoked with that. And then Mark and I 12th and 13th. Next time, buddy, I'll get you, but this time, good job. So, anyways, it was a good day. I mean, I did what I could, but I like going to these races because you see where you need to work. Like, okay, my swim's just not there. I need like a real change in my swim efficiency, and that's all I'm focusing on right now. And then the run, I'm already on my way up. I took off 4 minutes from Chattanooga to Eagleman. So just keep doing what I'm doing. and I'll keep getting better. So I'm on the right track there. And then the bike is like pretty much where it needs to be. So all I got to do is swim at the front, and then I'll ride at the front and run at the front. It'll be easy.
That's what my dad always tells me. Or he tells me, Lisa, when you get passed on the run, just hang onto their shoulder until the end and then sprint past them. I'm like, I'm working on it, Dad.
Only it were that easy.
If you gave me some better genetics, it would be a little bit easier.
Come on, Dad.
But here we are.
I wanted to freaking run with Mark, but that bastard was a bit too fast.
It is. I don't know. I think so. What are your overall thoughts about the whole athlete experience of the T100, especially this year, kind of being second year of the T100 tour type of thing?
I think it's pretty good. Yeah, like they do a good job making a good race, a good course. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really. It's a pretty big risk reward opportunity when it comes to the wild cards, because in order to make any kind of decent money, realistically, you got to be top 20 in the series at the end of the series, which pretty much requires you to, well, it definitely requires you to do 5 races, including the grand final one, whatever it's called, I don't know what they call it, race to Qatar. So you're basically relying on them inviting you to 5 races, including the final. And if they don't, like if you get into 4 and you do decent, like obviously I hope it doesn't go this way, but if Mark does 4 and he does like between 12th or 10th or 8th to 15th and he's doing pretty well, and then they don't invite him to the final, he's screwed and he can't come top 20 in the series, at which point he can't get a year-end bonus from the series. So then he's like gone all over the world to get an average of like $4,000 for each race, which is barely breaking even, probably not even breaking even for some of the like Middle East ones and stuff. So it's, it's tough, but the wild cards do have an opportunity because, like if you show up and you do Jamie Riddle and you get 5th, they're obviously going to invite you, and you're going to get into that series. But we were a little, like me and Mark and Lisa all found out after the race that you don't
at the
get
finish
your
line. I found out when I finished across the finish line. I said, sorry, it took me so long to finish, but I just wanted to get the little extra prize money to finish, which 19th place was $750. That's a good chunk of change that buys a plane ticket someplace. And I was informed that no, that's not how it works. You get $2,000. Like we top it off to $2,000. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean
so you get $2,000 or you get your prize money if you're a wild card. Either or. So basically, if you're a wild card, you get nothing beyond your prize money. Unless you made less than that in prize money, then they top you up to $2,000. So it's like, it's kind of annoying, like, because they're not paying out the full prize purse. So like, basically, the contracted athletes get their contract no matter what, and their prize money. So basically, they're like the equivalent would be if they like gave their contracted athletes their contract or their prize money, whichever one's higher at the end of the year. That's the exact same thing, which is ridiculous. Obviously, nobody would do that, but I guess for the wild cards, we would do that. So,
well, I won't do that again.
These points count towards the contender series, right? Which will pay out towards the end of the year.
Yeah,
yes,
I mean, first place in the contender series is $16,000, right, or something.
Yeah, and
it's just gonna be an athlete who's outside the top 10 of the. Like, if you look at the contender rankings, last I checked, at least, it was pretty much all people who already have a contract and they're just not in the top 10 of the series, so they get to also qualify for the contender series.
Yeah, but they don't get the money. I think the money rolls down to like the next people. But it's at the end of the day, it's really not going to be all that much money from the contender series
they don't
to
get the money?
Like some of the last place. No, they get. I believe they get the series pays out 1 through 20. So
they get the series payout as long as they get that. They don't get the contender as well.
I think so.
Okay.
It's a little bit confusing, but anyways, it was a big bummer to cross the finish line and realize you're not getting that chunk of change. So.
On the women's side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the top 10, 7 of the top 9 are already contracted T100 athlete in the contender series. So that'll roll down, I guess. So that'll be good. And then on the men's side, the top 4 are all contracted, and then so is number 6, 8, 9, and 10. Or sorry, 6, 8, and 9. So yeah, I mean, Mark's ranked number 13 in the Contender Series, and I'm 18 right now. Do you want to know where you are, Lisa?
I think I don't know. I haven't checked.
How many get it? Top 40?
Yeah, top 40. That's decent. They're paying technically more athletes than they did last year for end of the year payouts, but they have actually not paid anyone. They have not paid anyone. So I think that's also no one's been paid end of the year bonuses from last year, last that I heard of. So that's a little bit concerning for athletes.
I didn't even think we were going to be. I just assumed they stopped.
You were supposed to get an end of the year payout last year.
You're 24th in the Contender Series, by the way.
Thanks.
Good job.
So it's a little bit concerning that, and I also heard that no one's been paid for Singapore prize money, which was in April.
Okay, nice.
So I don't know what the finances are, how that works, how long it typically takes for people to pay out, but I have a feeling that we won't be seeing.
Put it all in a Bitcoin, and they're hoping it can go a little further. Waiting. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's this sense of impending doom amongst the athletes where we kind of all feel like probably the T100 is not going to be around forever. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe the contracted athletes know more than us, and then they're confident in it and stuff. But I would have still, even if I didn't know that little nuance about the prize money and the appearance fee for T100, I would have still done Vancouver because for me it was actually a cheap race to go and get to, and I really wanted to do it. I'm glad I did it. Had a good race. Saw where I was at. That was my whole goal. So probably might have been different for you. I don't know. What do you think?
Had I known a little bit, I don't think I would have actually gone to Vancouver. Well, I had a great life experience doing 3 races in a row, and I will never do it again. It's too much. I think you can maybe get away with back-to-back races. Jackson, you've had a good history of back-to-back 70.3s. But I just think 3 the wheels have fall off at some point. So, learned that lesson. But it was, they really do. T100 puts on a great athlete experience from the time that you land an airplane, you get an Uber paid for to the athlete hotel, accommodations covered. You get free bike mechanic service, and they're amazing. The bike
incredible mechanics. They're unreal.
So helpful. You get free massages when you're there, which is also pretty awesome. And yeah, it's just a cool community. I met a lot of people, made some new friends, which is always fun and something that I really enjoy. So happy to have had the experience. I will have to put my name on one more wait list, but I'm going to choose one that I am very confident I will not get into.
I don't know. I guess I better ask Dylan how that works.
Yeah. But I just, to be part of the Contender Series, you have to put your name on 3 wait lists. That's the only reason why I put my name on wait list to begin with. So, and then we just got to the situation where I was racing a lot. And here we are. But yeah, Garrick, how are you feeling? You did Ironman Brazil, and then you did Eagleman, and now we're a week and a half removed from Eagleman. How's the body? How are the energy levels? Are you back training? You have Roth in 3 weeks?
Yeah, I am back to training. I was pretty tired for a bit there, but I'm doing okay. I'm gonna in kind of like a 13-day, 14-ish, kind of like a 2-week, just heavy training. We're shooting for about 60 hours in the 13, 14 days here, based on what we looked at. Heavy in the biking.
How are you doing that?
We're going heavy.
Do you work?
heavy into the biking. I just, maybe you're not as productive of an employee as I should be at times, but yeah, we're kind of leaning into the bike because that's obviously, it's one thing to run slow, but I think the last couple of races we saw that my biking is a weak spot for sure. Although Eagleman, it's hard to put too much stock into Eagleman because
I wouldn't take really anything from Eagleman.
yeah.
The fact that you raced when you showed up on whatever the night we got an Eagleman, you're like, oh, there's about a 15% chance that I'm racing this weekend. I'm like, oh, okay. And then the fact that like the next day you were like, yeah, I think I'm gonna race. I was like, oh, well, that 15% changed really quickly.
Yeah, I do think jogging the run helped tremendously with my recovery. So I was back to training by, I did a decent training day with a bit of hard efforts on the Thursday after the race, and then Saturday I had a decent training day. I think I did like a 4.5 hour ride and with some hard efforts and feeling fine, like tired, but feeling okay. Yesterday was a gong show. It was like 92 degrees here, and I went out and did K repeats on. We picked we have this winter. We call it the winter K loop, only because the conditions are okay during the winter. It's like it's just a grind. For some reason, there's like 2 hills in it and like a slow gradual grade, and it's slow to begin with. But it was like 92 degrees, and like every K was just like worse and worse. It was like go through the 600 meter mark. It's like there's like a post at 600 meters, so you kind of know you're there. I'd look at my watch, and like every lap, I was like slower. I was like, okay, I must be plateaued now. 3 seconds slower. Like it was just survival.
How many reps did you do?
I did 7 of them with 90 seconds rest. So,
oh man, I'm not looking forward to this summer heat training.
It's in Colorado. It's already hot. Like we've got like 80s and 90s here. I'm like,
it was not 92, but it was probably like 85 here yesterday. It was hot. Yeah. And today was warm. But yeah, we got the summer grind now. So Garrick, you want to come to Guelph and train Canada Day weekend?
When is Canada?
No, I'm leaving. I fly out on the 30th to go to Roth.
God damn it.
You fly out in 12 days. It's like
Oh, are you flying out of Toronto?
No. We're flying out of Detroit.
I got to get my feed delivery from you.
Yeah. Hey, you want to
Are my wheels there too?
You want to come down? No, I don't have your wheels.
You got to take that up with
damn
Nick.
Wheels, Nick.
You should come down and train here the weekend before Canada Day weekend.
No, that's this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah,
or next
come
weekend.
on down. Come on down.
Got my stepmom's 65th birthday party. She would disown me if I didn't go. It's been planned for like years.
I had no idea that we were celebrating it at this time of the year.
I vaguely told Garrick I got to go train with him. I'm sorry.
I have a box of nutrition down there.
Gotta go get it.
But
oh, man.
I just want Garrick. What's your opinion on T100? How we've seen these last couple races?
From a spectator's point of view, I love it. I think it's great. After watching pretty much every Ironman, obviously we're biased looking at this because I had like 2 men that I, on the team, 2 women on the team racing. So I was invested in it. But the coverage is just, it's watchable, and the commentary is listenable. Like it's fine. One thing I will say is the stupid T100 cannot make a run course that's like looks good on TV for the life of them. Yeah. Like you're just running on a gravel path that's open to the public. There's like some guy walking with his like little kid next to him, and then a guy walking his dog. And then on the first lap of the men's race, there was a lineup for, I don't know, it's like a little canteen there with like ice cream or something, and they ran through the line of people. Like they just made a little gap for them and they like ran through it. And I'm like, guys, this looks awful. Like this doesn't look professional. Everything else was fine. Obviously they could probably do better stuff with some drones and stuff like that, but like that's kind of nitpicky. But the run course is just terrible. It's like
the footing. The footing on the run course was
first
terrible.
of all, it should never be on a gravel path. That should just never happen, because you essentially need to look at it and be like, okay, what is World Triathlon, WTCS? their run courses look professional when they go out and run. Like it looks. So what do? Well, they make it similar to what you'd see in a professional road race, right? Like running on the road, barricades, stuff like that. Like densely populated areas, so there's people watching pretty much everywhere. There's no like quiet zones or anything like that. That's kind of what you're shooting for. They can't do that. They've never been able to do that from day one, from the first race in Edmonton, where they just laid those flat soccer cones down and people had to follow that. And like, it looked terrible. They still can't do it. But I will say the finish line was an epic shot with like the skyline, Vancouver skyline in the background and stuff like that. That was a pretty cool shot.
Yeah, it was actually pretty breathtaking of like a location. As I was jogging so slowly, I could like actually take in the view from the sides and the mountains and like the really cool outline of Vancouver, downtown Vancouver, and the buildings. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think God, I want to be put on the broadcast.
Why they can't just put barricades up at least? Like they did that in the freaking bike course going through the university, where
nobody was actually.
And there's nobody watching.
Yeah.
And then they put us through that random, like how much did it cost them to put us through the university? Like, was that really worth it?
Yeah. It's too bad they couldn't have like, I guess school's out, so there's no one there, but they couldn't like.
There were a lot of people there.
Like, well, but it's not like your undergrad students aren't there, you know, like that would like go and like fill it. You know how in Wisconsin you like run cheering. Yeah, in Wisconsin I guess you like run through the university there and it's just like full of students, or even like Boston Marathon when you run by whatever school that is, Boston College or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like
we need to hire drunk college kids to come out to these triathlons to make
honestly run. If they put the run there in the university, that would have been way cooler because people might watch the run. Like I think they were like maybe even told students to like stay home because it's a bike. Like there were parts that weren't closed and people are just like walking right across the bike course or going like freaking 50K an hour down this like section with speed bumps and people are just walking across the road. Like it was crazy. So like nothing happened, but
so
cars were pulling onto the course here and there. I mean, it just happens, but
that's definitely
I think the run course they could have maybe improved. I didn't mind the gravel. I think maybe that's why I wasn't as sore too. Maybe for you as well. The
gravel a little softer.
Yeah, like I ran well and I ran pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have traction. Didn't stop some people from running crazy fast though.
I know. Yeah. It is interesting, but I don't know. We'll see. This is the T100 US North American tour is over until they come back to Las Vegas in October. Now it's over in Europe.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I was just looking at the schedule and maybe I would do Valencia. Maybe.
Yeah.
If there was another one, because Vegas is 2 weeks before Worlds, and I don't know if I want to.
And I heard that course is like the run was like crazy hilly, like super, super steep hills, like hard to run up, hard to run down. So I think that course could actually like fuck you up pretty good. And with just 2 weeks, that's just 2 weeks before 70.3 Worlds. And you still have to travel to Europe after.
2 weeks is a tough gap. I've always hated 2 week gaps, like for trying to race well the second time. I do better with a 1 week gap. So for Worlds, it's tough to make that. It's maybe one or the other, I guess, but I'd rather do Worlds 70.3.
Yeah. But so what's Jackson? Boise 70.3 up next?
Boise? Yes.
Boise. And then you're coming to Colorado for an extra week or two to an altitude camp.
She's trying
You're gonna have a fun celebration.
Sorry.
Okay. Any podcast listeners out there that want to fund Jackson to come to a wedding in Colorado at the beginning of August, you should do that. He's taking donations to fly out to a wedding in Colorado and get high altitude.
If I'm taking donations, I don't think I'm putting it towards that.
No, that's only the donations that can go towards
donations. I've been on a mission here, so I'm more motivated than ever for some reason right now. Probably because I'm kind of slow right now. So I'm doing the swim thing. I got the on deck coach give me a hand, and I'm focused hard on that, like actually not giving a shit how slow I swim and just swimming properly. Because I figure 6 weeks between races, like I don't even need to really care how fast I'm swimming until like a couple weeks before that. And it's not like you don't gain fitness from everything else. So if I'm doing sets and I'm just focused on technique and like swimming as hard as I can with the good technique, then it's not like I'm going to be swimming so easy that I'm not getting fitness. So I'm just going to try not to give a crap about times for a while. So there's that. And then I'm looking into all the wind tunnels, trying to figure out which one I can go to, test stuff out. I'm working with a local guy to potentially get some other aero custom gains on the bike to be described at a later date.
Adding some fairings.
No fairings.
No fairings. But if you brand them, if you brand the fairings Ventum, they're just going to let you do it.
Not putting any fairings, don't worry. Nothing that not everybody else is doing. And speaking of the wind tunnels, there's one in Guelph.
There is.
And I finally heard back from them, and it's $6,000 for half a day.
So if anyone wants to donate to Jackson going to
Yeah.
the wind tunnel in
So
Guelph versus flying to the one in North Carolina.
Yeah. Well, he could drive to the one in North Carolina.
Well, there's also one in Oshawa, Ontario, which is like
yeah,
2 hour and a half away, and I'm waiting to hear back from them how much theirs is.
There's also one in Indiana, and I have the price on that, but I don't want to quote it because I can't remember.
Okay. Well, wait, is that not the A2 one? That's North Carolina?
No, A2 is North Carolina. It's like I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I reached out to them this time last year and then never made do with it. But Indiana's close, and it's set up for bikes and stuff.
Okay.
But the one in Guelph they use for like transport trucks and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a climactic wind tunnel or something. They control the temperature and stuff too. And I was like, oh, would you give me a discount if I like promote it and stuff? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay. Well, this is why zero triathletes and cyclists use this.
Yeah.
They're like, we've had Olympic cyclists. It's like, yeah, I'm sure the National Federation forked out like $50,000 one time, and nobody has ever spent their own money on on it. So, anyways, so we'll see. It's too bad that because even if they brought it down to like 800 Canadian an hour, that's then like what the normal range is, and a freaking ton of people would go there if I went and it was like, oh yeah, here it is, come use it. But
they're obviously not strapped for cash. They're probably
they probably have it from all the big companies, and there's like I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So anyways, hopefully the Oshawa one comes back, but I'm working on that little equipment stuff, getting dialed, and Mark got too close to me on bike speed, so I gotta re-up my game. I only hope I can buy like
your ride at a little under 4 minutes, you said?
3.5, I think.
3.5, yeah. So your ride was like pretty legit at T100. We were watching. I was watching the tracker. You're taking closer and closer and closer to the middle of the field, and I was like, "Holy cow, he's gonna catch frickin' Morgan Pearson here."
Almost, yeah. The thing is, all those guys had someone to work with. Like Morgan had Wilhelm Hirsch that he just hung on. Mark had Jason West. And if those guys were isolated, I would have put in more time. But the last lap, I started to struggle. And, I did hold 324 average, 335 normalized, which was really upper end of, like, I thought on a really, really good day, I could average 325. And that's basically what I did. So
manpower to me, it's something that's really hard to like associate. I'm like, I don't know, is 320 good or is like 380 good or like what's
380
bad?
Is better than 320. Mark and I weigh the same, and we pushed the same power, but I went 3.5 minutes faster. So he's got to get he's got to get his aero a little more dialed,
or his power meter,
or his bike.
He thinks his power meter reads a bit high, and I think my power meter reads a bit low. So maybe I'm actually doing like 15 more than him or something. That would make sense. But still, I mean, he's taller. It's harder for taller guys to get his aero. And if you just look, like, he's got more space where the air comes in, hits his chest, and, like, that's just going to drag him a little bit. But he's getting pretty freaking dialed on that. So he's, he's getting there. You got a ways to go there, young grasshopper, Mark. But then he just blasted me on the run, so I can't really say much. And the swim. The swim's another ball game.
All right.
I watched it. Did you see how easy he was swimming? He literally goes out and then after, and when he just like decides to go to the back, he's just like
Yeah. I wish I
Like,
could do something like
chilling, looking around. I'm like, oh my God, this would be so nice. Imagine how amazing this would be. One day.
All right.
that. One day.
Ready? Oh, shoot.
Pass or smash, pass or smash. Tell me now, don't make it last. Pass or smash, pass or smash. This moment's gone, so make it fast.
Make a song with AI.
I'd not.
Did you make it with AI? Where'd that come from?
What? I wrote that myself, and I produced that. That's me singing.
Does ChatGPT do that? ChatGPT make jingles if you ask them?
No, it doesn't make music. You got to use a specific music thing, but I just used my instruments and my vocals and produced it myself. So we are now on to the Pass or Smash section of the podcast, and you guys all came prepared, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
What does that mean exactly? Just remind me.
You guys all came.
How many are we supposed to
with
have?
a Pass or Smash, right? You just got to come up with one. It's a quick segment. We're already at 50 minutes on the podcast. We're not gonna make this drag on too much, but
Deal.
okay. If you got one, fire away.
Lisa?
This guy's listening to podcasts recently. Pass or Smash Pro Tri News podcast.
Smash.
You guys
Except
have to
only
say
once you
that.
listen to our most recent episode, then you can smash the Pro Tri News. They do a good job. I mean, they're more professional. They're pro. They're Pro Tri. You know,
Yeah.
we're
Or
Real
amateur
Tri.
Real
Yeah,
Tri.
Real
Yeah.
Pro. Both good.
They have there's good perspectives. They come from different places, but it's a different podcast. Like they do news, right? We don't. I mean, it's
Let's
just
just start
not
some
a
beef. Who's your
competition,
least favorite person on the Pro Tri News?
Least favorite, like in terms
the
of
host.
of a host, not like as a person. Who's your least favorite host?
Like both.
No. But go
I
ahead.
can tell you
if
who
you
my
want. Go ahead
favorite
if you want.
is.
Okay,
like
do that.
favorite person. It's probably Kyle Glass.
Yeah, Kyle's
Yeah,
a
he's a
gem.
cool guy.
Who's your second favorite person?
Top two. Probably Mark Matthews.
Yeah. I like them all equally.
I just well they've given me a hard time before, and they have called me out, not directly with my name on podcast.
Really? I've never heard.
But unless
it. I
you
feel like I would know.
unless you no, you definitely would know, or maybe you wouldn't know.
I listen to every
Yeah.
single one of those. I consume
Well,
all
I'm the-
media.
Yeah, well, go listen to a couple ones past, but yeah, they give me a hard time sometimes, but that's okay. I appreciate it. Appreciate the shout
one of
outs,
those-
and I appreciate that Talbot knows how to pronounce my last name.
Yeah.
Mark Matthews, you do not.
I like Talbot. He's funny, and so is Kyle Glass, because sometimes they just say stuff
Whatever.
to get a reaction, and everyone takes the bait all the time.
And the first thing that comes out of their mouth, that's like, or to their head, they just say, which it is.
Yeah.
It's authentic.
Great.
Yeah. Me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Pass or smash on. I'll do two of them because they're related. Fins and snorkel for swimming for improving technique.
Smash both.
Oh,
I
Lisa's
used to
obviously
hate
gonna
the
smash.
snorkel.
All she wants
I
is
used to-
every tool possible.
I used to hate the snorkel, and I can't flip turn with it without waterboarding myself. But I've really enjoyed side kicking with it and doing sculling with it.
It's called sculling.
Sculling. What do you call it?
Skull.
Sculling.
Sculling. It's whatever.
I like to
Maybe that's why I'm not good
water.
at it.
Okay. Different country,
Sculling.
different dialect of English.
Well, you said like the word vague. Really weird. You're like,
Vague.
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 Yeah, it's vague.
Vague. Bag.
Not vague.
All right,
And
Garrick.
fins are my freaking favorite. If I could swim with fins on in a race, I
Are you
would be
using them
next
to
to
get
Lucy
better,
Charles.
or are you just using them to make it easier?
I use it to hang with the fast people at master swimming, and I can rock the fins. I'm good.
Okay.
I could just rip off
So make
sub
it easier.
rip off sub 100s, sub 1 minute 100s, back to back to back to back to back to back.
All right, Garrick.
For
what
yards,
about you?
so it's not real sub
For
1
yards.
minutes, but yeah. I say smash. I think for sure the snorkel is great. The only thing with the snorkel that worries me sometimes is head position. I think people will start they look up too much with the snorkel. That's the only thing you have to worry about. And I think I love fins. I mean, I just love fins because they're so much fun. I'll do I started doing a lot of IM stuff, so I'll do 20 by 100 IM or something, and I'll just
With fins.
With fins, I'll do it with fins. It's just
So it's not real.
just a lot of fun, yeah. But it's not for a hard swim, right? But just for fun and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's good. Fins are a good way to do drills or just swimming properly. It helps keep your body position elevated but you still activate your core and you work on your kick timing, and then you can work on your catch and stuff, and you couple that with the snorkel, which removes breathing, right? So then you're just focusing on your
Yeah.
I'm like a
stroke.
pretty good swimmer if I don't have to breathe, but it would be added breathing for me, and I'm like, body position goes to shit. Greg Harper probably has something to say about that, but
Sam Long's doing a swim camp with Greg Harper right now, I think.
Yeah.
I know, Jackson. I think you should fly down there and just
I'm
like
doing my
show
own
up.
swim camp. I know what I need to do. This is the thing. I know what I need to do. I just have always been like, nah, technique. It's probably fine. I can just swim hard. No. So I am smashing the fins and snorkels now. And I've been kind of using it more for drills, do the drill with the fins, then do the drill just no toys, then do the drill with the snorkel, then do the drill with no toys, then do some free and mix free in there. And yeah, each one gives you a bit of a different thing to focus more on with the drill. So I think it's been good, but yeah.
Like it. Okay, Garrick, smash
yeah.
or pass? Pass or smash?
All right. I don't know if we've done this one before, but I was doing this on Monday, and I was thinking I should take this to the podcast, see what Lisa thinks. 5.5 hour training rides to get ready for Ironman.
Smash. We do those for half Ironmans. Smash it all day.
Honestly,
I did
I'm going to
a-
say pass, yo.
Oh, sorry.
I just-
meant weekly 5.5
Definitely
hours.
pass. Fuck that. I'm just man, I
5.5?
honestly, even if I do a full this year and train hard for it, I don't think I'm going to go above 4.5. I don't
Wow,
know.
really?
I just don't feel
But-
to me those sessions end up feeling pretty epic, and I just don't think they produce even for all these halves I've done this year. I don't think I've biked over 3. I might have biked 345 once, but most weeks my longest ride's 315, 330
So this is
on the trainer.
This is actually this. Okay, actually, so you pass. Lisa is gonna pass now that it's
not
all your long
weekly.
rides. Yeah, weekly. I guess maybe not weekly, but your Ironman specific rides, doing it on the trainer, I guess. But I would say, yeah, pass. You guys. So this is a good Jack saying this, talking about how he doesn't really do long rides. He doesn't like long rides. Is kind of a good indication or a good way to be everyone kind of is different and responds to different things. Jack realizes that these rides bury him and that maybe not good for him. Me, if I don't get these long rides in, inside or outside, I just don't perform well. The long sessions, the long runs, long rides are kind of where I gain my fitness, I would say. So that's what when I go and do an Ironman, I come out of it so much fitter too, right? Because doing 4.5 hours at Ironman pace just seems to work to get me stronger, but I'm not going to do that in training. But like, I think a lot of athletes wish that they were lower volume athletes like Jack, and they like the idea of that. And so they hide from the work, and they never get kind of where they're going to go because of that.
Yeah. Maybe.
I think you fall on you're one or the other. I think there's a lot of people that are like wants to be low volume, and there's a lot of people that are like our warriors that like you have the elite age grouper that's like, I want to train 28 hours a week, and that's unnecessary in my opinion. But I will
say on the run though, I do think long runs are good for me, like 2 hour, 2:10, 2:20 runs.
It's less just like low volume. I think everyone, not just low volume or high, like you said, it's one or the other, but I think people in their minds are like, they like the idea of one or the other. Like people love the idea of being like, yeah, man, I go out and smash 40-hour weeks and I'm so hard. But then other people are like, you don't need to do 40-hour weeks. You just need to train really hard for an hour a day. And like people, but they, instead of like really understanding their body, they just get stuck in one of these camps. And it's like, no, like do it. You should probably try both and see what happens. Jack tried both. Lisa, maybe tried the other one, but anytime she creeps up to 20 hours, she starts falling apart.
I will say that, so I did a 5-hour ride the Saturday before T100 San Francisco. So like a week out. And I'm pretty sure that's like the glue that held me together for Eagleman.
But
and I will say, San Fran did not go well. But San Fran was more so because like it was a stomach thing versus like a more of a fitness feeling bad thing. It was like I felt like my stomach needed to vomit. Mm-hmm. But I will say there was 1 week this spring that Matt had me do 3-4 hour rides. And I was so mad because it was also the windiest week of like spring. It was like gale force winds every single day. And I was like out there and I was like not riding my TT bike. So I did like 3-4 hour rides on my mountain bike that week. And after that week, I was like, I'm never getting on my bike again.
Yeah. All right.
So I do some volume, okay?
I've got like another gear on the bike. Almost another, like this year, similar to last year, but like I don't find adding those long ones gives me anything really. Like I pretty much every week ride that I'm actually in a training block. I do a 3 and like a 3.5-ish ride, hard workout. Maybe both of them are around 3.5 sometimes. And then I ride like 5 days a week. And then I do like 2 that are like hour to hour and a half, just like moderate, or hour to 2 hour, like moderate rides. And another one that's like a recovery ride that's like an hour and a half. So if you add that all up, that's like 11 hours or something.
Yeah. You just spread it out. You just don't do one massive session, right? Where a lot of people don't have time to spread it out like that. They can't do 2-3+ hours.
I probably would. A week. I mean, if I worked full time or something, I probably would ride like 5 hours on Saturdays.
Yeah. So just way to get it. All right. Now on to the final.
It's the stuff that keeps me up at night. No use that grinds my gears. What grinds my gears? 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 What grinds my gears?
Next, you're gonna have to listen to that on your next 3.5 hour trainer ride, Jackson.
Yeah, on repeat. What grinds your gears?
Toughen the mind.
I went first for the last one, didn't I? I think.
No, I did.
Oh,
so okay, I can go first on that. I can go first on this guy. Yeah. So Jack gave me. I had another one lined up, but you know what? It wasn't as good as this. So Jack gave me an idea with something about his swimming. Something that grinds my gears is people who, not just people, because I'm myself included, I've been in this, but not progressing your drills like not progressing them. So maybe you're doing with the fins and the snorkel and you don't go past that, or you get to the snorkel, coach puts snorkel on the board, you're always reaching for, or coach puts drills on the board, and you're always reaching for your snorkel. Like immediately whip around, grab your snorkel.
Yeah.
Man, that grinds my gears. And I think the reason that it grinds my gears a bit is because every time I see drills on it, I'm like, this might be a good time to use my snorkel. So I'm like projecting.
Like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And I need to stop.
I need to progress it. I need to, keep going.
I feel like that being able to do the drill without the fins and snorkel, even just for like a 25, is almost like a prerequisite to doing that drill. Like, if you can't do it at all without the fins, maybe there's like an easier version of that drill that you should do. Like, it's way harder. Like, if I'm doing, I don't know, single arm or whatever, and I do the fins, my body position, everything's better. And then when I take the fins off, I got to like kick harder and focus a lot more on like my catch and stuff. And like, that's why I'm not doing only no fins. Cause if I was doing only no fins, then I probably just wouldn't do it very well. I'd just be lazier and not get much out of the drill. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like that. I think that's very important.
Yeah. Like master the drill. Work towards mastering the drill, but don't be stagnant for years on the drill. Always reach for that snorkel. That's kind of what grinds my gears.
I haven't done a drill in a pool in about 2 years. I'm just kidding.
Wait, hey, you know what? That is a theory, a coaching theory, a philosophy for swimming. Yeah, and it's been very successful. So
Actually, one of my favorite drills to do is the paddle on the head drill. It's my favorite. You put a paddle on your head.
doing backstroke.
And you gotta, and then you gotta swim freestyle, and you gotta figure out how to keep it on your head to maintain good potty position and breathe while you're doing it. So it's
Good
a great
potty
drill.
position.
Yeah, if you put your paddle on the top of your head,
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah, you gotta
maintain-
have the right head position too, and you gotta just be like.
You can't look up or bury your head on a stroke. Maintains good potty position.
I
And
like
just quick
the-
grip to the side.
I like doing the backstroke with the hockey puck on your forehead and just having to hold it.
Or glass.
I think it's really good for triathlon.
Okay, grind gears.
Yeah.
Grind gears. Lisa, you go ahead.
What grinds my gears? I put one down, but I don't really want to bring it up because it's just talking about the slower pro men factoring in the pro women's race.
That's fair.
But we've talked about that before. Other podcasts have talked about that. We
Grinds
know
your gears.
our grinds my gears, but something else that grinds my gears. Waking up in the middle of the night with your brain racing. No, you just like have a thought.
You wake up and then it's like your brain decides it's gonna like solve all your problems at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, right now, and you're like, oh my gosh. So I'm like trying to figure out ways to like get myself to fall back to sleep. And so I've been doing like breath work where you like breathe in 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. And I try to do that to like focus on something, but it didn't work last night when I was up. So anyways, grinds my gears when I wake up in the middle of the night.
I get that on race night. I like so happy I finally fall asleep, and then I wake up, have to pee, and then I'm laying in bed and it's just like, oh, now I can't go back to sleep.
I have to wake up in 2 hours at 2:30 in the morning because we booked an Airbnb 40 minutes away from the race site.
And the race was at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the real crime, was the race being at 5 a.m.
5.
Yeah.
It was really 5:45, but
Yeah, but still.
it was the middle of the night.
Okay. Real quick one, grinds my gears, 12-meter draft zones. Like, what the hell are we doing? Make them all 20. But another one that's more relatable for most people would be people who don't train on the trainer ever for hard workouts in the summer.
Grr. Lisa.
Damn those people.
Yeah, damn those people. And I used to do that. And then I would have the one day once a month where there's a thunderstorm and I have to do my workout on the trainer. And I'd be like, why can I not hold at good power? This is crazy. This is stupid. And then I realized, whoa, maybe it's because you're losing fitness all summer because you're not pushing hard workouts ever.
But think about how fast you would have gone around that roundabout in T100 Vancouver
Zero
had
amount
you
faster.
roding outside.
Zero amount fast.
It's not that like when you get to a point in your career, it's not that you don't ride outside. It's, like you've probably done all the cornering drills. You've done you've whipped down descents, you've gone through roundabouts quick. Like, it's just sometimes you got to do 1 or 2 rides on the trainer.
Yeah. If it's hailing outside and thunderstorming, I'll text my coach and tell him I'll ride tomorrow and put the run today.
All right, real quick, my last one
And
here.
people who don't actually do the things that are hard, they just do what they want.
Yeah. Yeah, that grinds my gears for sure. Okay. Final. So I got one last one that also came off of what Jack was talking about. So I wrote it down here. People who use fins but don't like what they use the fins for is basically recovery because they don't want to learn how to do backstroke or breaststroke. And so like they'll do a whole cool down with fins or something like that.
I love doing cool down with fins, breaststroke with the dolphin kick, and the backstroke with the fins.
Yeah,
on.
Lisa's just like the devil on the shoulder triathlete. She's just like she always listens to the devil of doing the things she shouldn't do.
But you're still doing the backstroke and the butterfly and stuff. Like, yeah, you're having fun with the fins, but yeah, you're having fun with the fins, but people will just like, they're going to swim freestyle the whole time. They just throw the fins on and do kick with fins, or they do freestyle with fins as their recovery because they can't do backstroke, they can't do breaststroke, and they refuse to learn, even to do it like moderately, competently or at all. Like just do it.
That's something I've been embracing this year is doing more IM, because at the master swimming I go to, IM day is on Monday, and there's always the option to do free, but I'm like, I try to lean into it a little bit more this year as long as I'm not recovering from a race. I've been doing a lot more IM. A lot of one-armed butterfly though happens.
Yeah.
And then sometimes my hip hurts if I do breaststroke a little wrong, but also I find it very hard to push hard in breaststroke or backstroke. Those are my recovery strokes.
Yeah, they're recovery strokes. I know.
I don't know how people swim all out breaststroke. I don't know how that even makes sense.
It's
funny. People do that like the Olympics.
Yeah, I had a
we do for freestyle.
I had a swim coach yell at me once. He was like, "Don't ever do backstroke in my pool again," and I'm like, "It's not even a real stroke. This is a recovery stroke."
I'm breathing the whole time.
Yeah.
Don't ever do it again. What were you doing like?
I also don't know any backstroke drills. I only know the thumb that comes out and then you switch in that you switch. I don't know any backstroke drills.
Yeah, there got to be drills.
We could do one arm backstroke. I guess you can do one arm of any stroke.
Puck the puck on the forehead.
Maybe I'll do a paddle or water on the forehead. Puck that.
All right, guys.
Anyways,
Jackson has a fidget spinner.
It's got a fidget spinner, but
if you can't hear it. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you should subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Yes. Tell them how much you like the pod. Scream at us at races. We love the pod. Gives me a boost every time I hear it. I've only heard it once so far.
It is great to hear.
It was great.
Oh yeah, shout out to Ryan at Lifetime in Canton for listening to the podcast. That's awesome. I didn't know I'd ever see another triathlete there, let alone one that listens to the podcast.
Thanks, Ryan. We appreciate it.
Are people actually listening more now, kind of, or not really?
Yeah, tons of people are listening.
Steve listens.
Just
I don't think he's ever listened to the podcast once in his life.
Yeah, more than he's ever listened. Okay. All right, guys.
Anyways.
Well, until next time. Peace.
Out.
I got ish to do, flying through the sky in my parachute, dancing on the couch like I'm Tommy Cruise, on a one-man mission trying to see it through.